welcome back to another video. In this one, we're going to look at iSaxTip number 7, and this is how we can set the octave range on our Aerophones. In the menu system on the Aerophone, we've got a setting that allows us to change the amount of octaves that we can use from within our Aerophone. So if we find the setting first, then let me show you how this works. I'm going to press menu, and then I'm going to use the plus key to go quite a long way through our settings list until I get to octave key. Okay, that's the setting we're talking about. Now, the way we change that setting is the same way that we change all our settings on the Aerophone. We just press the menu key, and now you'll notice these two arrows have moved down to the lower line in the display, and we can use our plus and minus keys to make our selection here. What sounds will be affected? Well, the octave key setting is what we would term a system setting. That means that it's going to affect all the scenes or sounds on your Aerophone. There are 4 or 5 different settings for the octave key on the Aerophone, so let me try and explain to you the differences. And don't forget, we've got the iSax.Academy specifically for Aerophone tutorials just like this one. We've got an Aerophone Basics course if you're pretty much a complete beginner, or maybe you're a slightly rusty player. If you own an Aerophone Mini, well then you'll need the Mini Basics course. Both of these courses will teach you every note on the Aerophone, the proper technique, the proper way to play from the Aerophone, so you become the very best player you can possibly be. And if you're a more advanced player, if you already understand and play all the notes on a saxophone or an Aerophone, you should check out the Advanced Aerophone course, where it's going to teach you how to set up all the controls exactly the way you want them to be. It'll teach you all the settings. It'll even show you how you can create your own sounds on the Aerophone. Check out www.iSax.Academy for more information. Now, what are these octave key options? Let's take you through each one and try and show you what the differences are. If I go to my menu here and select Sax 1, now in Sax 1 mode, what we've got is, although we've got all these octave keys at the back, it's going to work just like a regular saxophone. So pressing the octave key above the thumb rest is going to go up into the second octave, just like a saxophone. And if I press one of the down octave keys, nothing changes. Nothing changes there. So this could be a good place to start if you really just want the Aerophone to play exactly like your saxophone does. The next one is Sax 2. Now what they've done here is that lower octave key, well, that's a bit like the low A key on a baritone. If you've ever played a baritone sax, you'll know you can use that, the key that takes you down to the low A. Well, this setting will make the Aerophone work in exactly the same way. So one octave key up, and then when you get down to low B or low B flat, you can press the one octave key down and get a low A. You can in fact press the second octave key down and get a low G sharp if you want to as well. So that's the Sax 2 setting. Next we have what I consider to be the wind synth settings. Playing an Aerophone exactly like a saxophone might be something that you'd like to do, but I would suggest you're missing out on quite a bit of potential of a wind synthesizer, because on the Aerophone we can extend the range considerably. If we set octave 2, now we have 2 octaves up and 2 octaves down. Let me show you. So I'm selecting the octave 2 here now. And now what's going to happen is As I play the first octave key up, of course, that's going to take us 1 octave higher. But if I go and press the second octave key up, you've got it, we'll go 2 octaves higher. It's a little bit difficult to show you. I'm just going to try and move to the side here a little bit. Hopefully you can see 1 octave key, and then that's the second octave. And going down in the same way. Now we've got 2 octaves up and 2 octaves down. But hey, we don't just want 2 octaves up and down. What about 3 octaves up and down, and how does that work? So I'm now going to set this to octave 3. Now in this setting, what's going to happen is that if I press the first octave key up, well then, as you probably guessed, I get 1 octave higher. If I hold that first octave key down and then press the second octave button, now I'm 2 octaves higher. And if I let go of the first octave key, so I'm just pressing the upper octave key button down, now I get 3 octaves higher. And of course I can go lower, 1 octave, 2 octaves, or 3 octaves. So that's giving us a huge range of notes. Admittedly, you may not use the 3rd octave up or 3rd octave down all that often, but I'd suggest this is a good place for you to work towards that setting being comfortable for you. It's like anything else. You know, if you learn to play with a certain setting from the beginning of your experience on the Aerophone, well, then it won't feel like a big change if you try and change it later on. And, you know, you can still use the Aerophone just like a regular saxophone by, even if you're in that 3 octave setting, you still can use the first octave key just like a regular saxophone octave key anyway. I think the default is 2 octaves. I'd suggest why not switch it to that 3 octaves from the outset, so you've got that full range of sounds that you can use there. I hope that's been useful for you. I just want to clear up these questions that I keep getting on the various social networks that I'm on. And please post some questions down below if you've got other things you'd like addressing in the iSax tips. See you in the next one.